Hey, it's Russell. Back again with, I guess, the final episode of this series. This is the finale. It's been a little while since I posted YouTube content, like maybe like a week and a half or so. So I better get this out pretty soon. And this is a bit of a post commentary, as you can tell by the speed of this battle. The first half of this video is going to be very sped up, like this, because I'm getting through like a lot of these battles, and then when we come down to like some of like the final battles, it slows down. But yeah, this is a good opportunity for me to like talk about like everything that's going on. Um, I haven't made like a lot of YouTube content recently because of like busyness in general. I don't want to like get too into it, but yeah, life is really taken over. uh, and a lot of the stuff had to go like on the back burner. I've actually been editing like a few things, and so I have things like to post now a little bit. Um, but it's just gonna when I start posting again, I don't want to like post a few videos and then leave. I want to like post like a lot of different videos and go at it at like around the same pace I was going at it a month ago. Um, I still have had uploads like between like now and then, but they've basically been things I recorded like more than a couple months ago now. Um yeah, things went crazy around like early September. And it kind of reflects that on the channel cuz like the channel like shot up to like between like February when I started posting where I was at like 24 subs. I've like gone up to like in like the beginning of like September like 370 subs ish. I think we lost a couple subs since then. But yeah. Um yeah, and then like, it kind of stopped when I stopped really like posting like the shorts and stuff and cuz I was like too busy. But yeah, uh I do plan on having content posted. I have a lot of stuff like in the works, and I think the quality of what I'm going to be posting this next round of a couple playthroughs and shorts and stuff is going to be superior to the quality of what I last posted. I'd like to step up as long as it doesn't hinder my life. Um, like I said, this is you probably heard me say this before on this channel. This is kind of like a hobby. Um, Posting these. So I have Civ 3 content in the works. I really liked playing that, and I really want to get better at that. There were like 4 episodes of like Civ 3 content that I made like last time that was better than like all the other episodes. Not in terms of like views, I think, but like it personally, I like the quality of it better. And simply because the only reason why those videos came out better were because they were post commentaries, kind of like how I'm doing this now. Um, and yeah, so we have a battle here. I'm just destroying everything with my fleet here, getting rid of all these like space battles. And then, like I said, when it comes to like some of the more last final battles, I'll slow it down some. Uh, you can see that. Oh, looks like we went back a bit. That's a bit of an editing mistake, maybe. But yeah, that's fine. I'll leave it in there. I don't have time to like keep redoing this over and over again. Uh, yeah. We get to see stuff blow up. So who's complaining? Uh, the what was I saying before about the channel? I don't remember now. On a completely unrelated note, I had so much fun playing through the Greater Maldrood stuff. It is my favorite faction. I think like maybe like the Zinj would be like a bit of a close second, but yeah, I really enjoyed the Greater Maldrood playthrough. There's a good bit of flavor to it too. Like you have like I think you can get more like stuff from like other factions, but what little flavor there is to this faction I like compared to the others. Since then, there's been updates too, so that's another reason why I kind of want to move on from this playthrough, just because I'm playing in a bit of an older version now. in order to finish this campaign that I started. And yeah. Oh, Civ 3, that's what I was talking about before. So the reason why like I like the quality of like those 4 Civ 3 episodes more than I like the rest of the Civ 3 content I put out is because I did it as a post commentary, and that was the result of a mistake where I just didn't record my voice, which kind of sucked. But because I went back and did like a post commentary, the commentaries were like much more lively, a lot less boring, because I was able to actually focus on commentating rather than like just focus on the game. I think I have a bit of a problem where I focus on the game too much. So there's a couple of things I want to do to improve content on this channel. First is to do a bit more post commentarying, which means there might be a little less content than there was before, just because it's gonna like double the amount of time for like work I'm gonna have to put in to making like the episodes. So, but I think overall it'll be much better. And I only do this as a hobby, so I'm only gonna post like within the work limitations and stuff. And then the other thing I wanted to do was start editing a lot of like the multiplayer stuff I've been doing, because I feel like it's a more lively atmosphere when I'm like talking to someone with me. Um, so yeah, I have a couple of things like that in the works as well, multiplayer edits, um, and I think it'll be good for the channel. It'll be pretty fun. We're going to be doing a land battle on Commodore, so I try to do land battles for this because like I figured like okay, this will be like the last land battle with like these dudes. I need to like actually do this so I can see their units one last time. And I have a lot of dudes. Like there's no way I'm gonna lose this battle. It's gonna be terribly inefficient the way I fight this battle probably. I'm not really that good at land battles. At least in this mod. Um Republic at War, which is like the like Clone Wars mod, I can do like a bit better at. Is it Republic at War or is it a different one? There's like a Clone Wars one that's made like by the same creators at this mod. But yeah, I do a good bit better in that one for land battles. Um Maybe it's just me not like doing understanding like the unit balance really well or something. But yeah, uh multiplayer I do really well in space battles. Like not like super super well, but like because I'm able to like I could probably get better at knowing like the units and like what counters what. But um I do decently well in like the multiplayer battles just because I'm able to like have decent awareness of what's going on around me, and I can be fairly reactive when I need to be, or proactive to put people, throw people off and stuff. Land battles, though, I've never been able to do that too well. Um, and the land battles are fun. I've made like shorts with like following around like heroes and stuff, and it's very cinematic. Um, like when you go like into the camera and everything, really really cool stuff to like watch the land battles. But like actually playing them, they always felt kind of like grindy, especially because like you have to like deal with like infinite reinforcements when you're like attacking, and yeah, defenders definitely have an advantage, which kind of makes sense because like you're defending a planet, but still. Um, Actually, I have to take back maybe the infinite reinforcements thing when it comes to this mod. I don't think that might be the case actually. Um, I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I think like there's like some kind of limitations like on like tanks and stuff. Um, but yeah, the land battles have not always been like my biggest thing, but like I said, I'm doing the land battles here because they're the last ones, and I did have a lot of fun with it. Um, it didn't feel too grindy. I think like this was like over 4 hours of footage, when I compressed down the first like 10 minutes of this video being like a couple hours by itself, and then the rest of it being like at like times 2 or times 3 speedish right now. It doesn't look too much like times 2 speed or times 3 speed, but that's because the computer I was playing on this whole series was like a laptop. Um, crummy little laptop, yeah. And that is simply because of the limitations of, on my work requires me to be in different places. There's circumstances, so um, yeah. So yeah, lasers and shooting and stuff. AT-ATs being destroyed. I like using the hunt button a good bit. I think it's kind of fun to like not have to do stuff. So it's pretty cool that they added that like on like ground troops. I think that was in ground troops in the base game with like the TIE Maulers, but they're TIE Maulers. Is that what the term is? TIE Maulers? I forget what they are. Uh, it's like those little tiny tanks that like you can like make explode. But like the problem with those is they're like very flimsy. Maybe the hunt key wasn't on it. Actually, I think their special ability was explode. Huh? Never mind. I haven't played the base game in a long time. I really like the campaign though for the base game. That's like a highlight to like this whole series. But yeah, lasers, dudes running at me. I recorded this so long ago, so I probably would have been able to do a little bit of a better post commentary, like if it was still fresh in my mind. Like right now, I don't know what I'm doing. It looks like I'm landing those dudes. What's nice about those guys that I'm landing right now is they have the hunt enemy ability. I think it's like the swamp speeders, those flying dudes, those tanks that are like under those flying dudes, those two walkers with the two legs. I mean, um, skiffs have hunt ability. Uh, yeah, like all those types of dudes. You can just press like hunt enemy, and then you don't have to like do anything. You know, makes your life easier. And yeah, so we're storming it. We've lost like 3 AT-ATs at this point. Looks like it's gonna be like a fourth maybe. But it's fine because it's end game and we don't need anything else. Launch those guys. And these guys will finish everything off for sure. Pew pew pew. Just here to bring chaos. Look at that. And that'll confuse the AI. Although they do have like the anti-aircraft thing, which is just wrecking everyone. Anti-aircraft turrets are pretty powerful in this game. And it's kind of a good thing because like there isn't really any other way to deal with aircraft other than anti-aircraft. So like on the one hand, if you're like facing an opponent that doesn't have an anti-aircraft opponent, you'll like dominate them. But like on the other hand, like if you do face up against an opponent with an anti-aircraft, then it's like almost useless to use like the flying dudes. It makes it for an interesting dynamic where like sometimes you have to use your ground forces to destroy the anti-aircraft turrets, and then you can send in like the aircraft dudes like at the end to wipe up everything. Yeah, I like the balance of this game, base game and mods. I mean, of course, there's unbalanced mods, but this one's balanced pretty well. Um, and that's something that I've been playing lots of multiplayer of this game. Unfortunately, I don't have like any recordings of it. But if you ever want to watch me play a little multiplayer, Slice Rec, which I have links to him like on certain videos on my channel. I'm not sure if I'll remember to link him here. Um, we'll do like the multiplayer battles on his stream sometimes, and we've played this mod like a lot. I think this is like the mod we've played the most for multiplayer battles, and every one of the factions for space is balanced pretty decently well. I mean, there's like a couple factions that feel like a little underwhelming, but like this one, the Greater Maldrood, the Zinj, the regular Empire, there's like a lot of Imperial Warlord factions that are really solid. And then the New Republic is really solid as well, simply because they're a bit of like a rush faction where like, well, Imperials will get like ISDs on like level 4. You can get like MC80s and stuff on like level 3 space stations for like the New Republic. So while, later on you have like the more heavily armed ships come in from the Empire, if you play your cards right, you can crush them before they ever get to that point by gaining the level 3 and busting out a few MC80s. You can get like a bit of a strategic advantage earlier on. But then if you can't exploit that because of the way your opponent's playing or because you're just suck at the game, then you pay for the price for it later on. So yeah, the dynamic is very interesting. There's a good bit of balance in like the multiplayer scene. Something I've never really been able to do, because it like desyncs after like 10 or 15 minutes, is like a multiplayer campaign. I really would like to do that, and I will maybe want to try it as like a LAN with a friend one day if I ever get the opportunity. I've played around with that idea in my mind, although the logistics for that would make things like really hard to do, and I'm not even sure like if I did go through all those logistics if I'd be able to record it. But yeah, that's always been something I've thought would be really really fun to do. Again, it would take like a lot of logistics. You'd have to set aside a lot of time. I'd probably have to take time off of work for it. It might be worth it because it would be like a one-time experience thing to like go through like a big campaign like that in a LAN game. But still, yeah. So yeah, those are just some thoughts about lots of stuff. Unfortunately, this game isn't really optimized for multiplayer campaign. And there we go. That is the end of the Republic. And since I won this battle, I've been given free base influence. Whoa. And there's some flavor text. I get like new heroes and stuff, which is pretty cool. I look and find them, those dudes. I think like one's there's one that's a ISD, and then the other dude is a land dude. And I'm trying to move him when it's paused, which is stupid. But yeah, ISDs and land dudes are always welcome. And I'm moving everyone back one at a time when I don't have to do that. All I have to do is zoom out. You see I have like one ship in my land forces. Those are for bombers and stuff. And I transfer it out because I'm stupid. That's what I should have done in the first place. And I'm getting officers from this place, which is pretty cool. That planet produces officers. I didn't even know that they did that planet did that until I captured it. But that's good to know for the future. If I ever play around. And now there's two systems left. One's the Empire, which will be a space and land battle. And the other is the Mighty Zinj, my great rival warlord. And that's only going to be a space battle, but I believe they have a SSD on that planet. And yeah, time to face off against this big battle against them. This one's a Praetor. Okay. I knew they had like some kind of super ship, which is kind of cool. And we get like a ton of dudes. There's some broadside cruisers. I really should use broadside cruisers more often. I mean, it's very tempting not to get them because like of how expensive they are. But like once you do get them, they do like good work so long as you have the front line to guard them. You just rotate them towards the direction they launch missiles and from far away. And yeah. So we are going up against the Praetor. This ISD is melting pretty fast because it's up against our dude. I think stats wise my ship is already superior to the Praetor. However, because of this planet's reinforcements, like it has like the super shipyard and everything, they're gonna get like free ISDs like until like we destroy their space station and stuff, as well as the fact that they have like a lot of reinforcements as well. So it is kind of dangerous to send in my big boy ship at the beginning like this, but yeah, it should all turn out fine. After all, I'd probably be ashamed to post this video if I lost the campaign at the end of this at the end of this thing. I mean, I probably could have just like made tons of ships and auto resolved everything, but that would have been like boring. And yeah, these are more so just watch big battles and have fun. So yeah, and it being sped up too is a nice change of pace because it actually looks like normal speed almost. That's another advantage to doing like a post commentary. And maybe if I do another series with this, if I'll either do it with a better computer so that it doesn't lag like it was before, or I would speed everything up to ×2 like this and do a post commentary. But I don't have that in the works at all right now. Like I said before, I have a Civ 3 series coming out with post commentary. I plan on doing some Total War multiplayer stuff. Because I already have like a ton of footage for that, and I just have to edit it together and stuff, and it'll be pretty cool. And if you hear my chair squeaking, that's because I'm using my old squeaky chair, so sorry about that. I just realized I've been rocking back and forth on it a little, so I'll try to stop moving, and hopefully I'll remember that for the next excuse me, few minutes. Yeah, explosions and stuff. And you see those what are they called again? Those missile ships? Broadside cruisers, there you go. They're like constantly doing work. They're just laying out the missiles constantly. And because they're in the back line, they aren't taking any damage. It's all being soaked up by like the ISDs and everything in the front. Very worthwhile ship to get, very cost effective ship. It's a great way to have like a fortified line without risking like a multi-layered fortified line. It would probably be better in situations that like where things were a little less open. This is a pretty open battle map. Like if you had more of a choke point with like asteroids and stuff, you could hold the line with like a few ISDs and then have like the broadside cruisers behind it. It would probably be like the best of situations. Very good against space stations, these guys, of course, but that's from the base game. You should know that. In fact, in the base game, they're a little OP against space stations because you can stay out of the range of the space stations. And especially if you're fighting a space station that only really gives fighters, they're good against fighters also. Yeah. So let me talk a bit about how I play this game in space battles. Um, and I'll talk about it like this, but I'll also talk about it in a bit of a multiplayer perspective as well. So, first of all, with the fighters, numbers are everything when it comes to fighters. So, having like carrier ships is really good. The worst factions in the game are the ones that don't start off with carrier ships, like in like level like 1 or 2 of the of like the space skirmishes, because it makes it really really hard to get fighter superiority. The carrier ships are like the best thing since like in this game. To like you'll get it like on like your first tier of space station, and then you'll get it like on your last tier of space station. You'll always have carriers, and if you always have like one more carrier than your opponent, you're always going to have the fighter superiority. They do actually very little damage like by themselves to like big ships. The base game, like the bombers and fighters and stuff, are way way more powerful, almost like OP. There goes the Praetor. Um, but yeah, and I believe they'll warp in some ISDs now to replace that Praetor, because they do have the reinforcements for that. Or actually, they warped in a ton of dreadnoughts. It looks like, I'm not sure. Maybe they are running lower on reinforcements now. But yeah, fighter superiority. It's all about numbers, and I use the hunt enemy ability. A, because I don't want to. I'm like, you can see I'm clicking like all the big ships constantly to try to reorient them. And B, if you focus your fire on like say one fighter for example, or like a small group of fighters, using like, by clicking them directly or using like the attack key or whatever, you're inviting other fighters to come up behind your fighters and like shoot them from behind and destroy the fighters as you're chasing those fighters, or destroy your fighters as you're hunting down like an enemy big ship or whatever. If you have it on hunt enemies, your fighters will constantly like choose like the target that's trying to engage them when it comes to like fighters. So your fighters are going to get into dogfights more often, rather than just getting like shot at. um like there's like an ISD that's like been untouched up until this point. So yeah, one, you need to have like your focus on your bigger ships anyways, and then two, the fighters AI for using like the hunt fighter thing is going to often be better than the decisions that you can make with your fighters, just because of like the nature of like how the AI or how like another player would like fight you. And if the other player you're fighting against doesn't use hunt enemies with all of their fighters like I am, um you're gonna get like the better of the engagements usually, because they're gonna tell their fighters to focus on like one fighter group, and then you'll be able to target them with like all of your other fighter groups, while your one fighter group is just taking all the damage, and so on and so forth. So yeah, hunt enemies is like really good. Bigger ships, the key to using bigger ships in my opinion is like the you just have to fight the like ship pathing. That's like the biggest thing. Ship pathing and like ship aim. It'll like, you'll like click something like to like attack somewhere, and then like it'll like make you take this like really stupid path, or it'll like make you get closer to it when you don't want to get closer to it, and things like that. And so what you always want to do is you always want to like manage your ship like in the direction that it will be like most optimally facing, and and tell it to stop yourself where you think it should stop. Position it yourself before aiming at the enemy ship to like maximize firepower and stuff. You're just basically constantly fighting the pathfinding of your ships and positioning of your automatic positioning of your ships. The other thing is, make sure you click the ships that you want to focus down on, and have multiple ships focusing down on one ship at a time. If you don't tell your ship to focus on it, it'll shoot at like useless things like fighters, like those guys are like right now, rather than laying down all of its firepower on the main ship. Turbo lasers are useless against like fighters. Like, I mean, maybe you'll hit like one or two here and there, but you get way more value out of turbo lasers by like laying them into like a bigger ship. And so making sure that they're always aiming at the right ship by clicking the ship, making sure that your guys are positioned in a way so that the ships support each other, not just, you know, your ships aren't going to do well if like you're across the map and then you just click a ship across the map and they all move towards it. They're going to move like unevenly. They're going to move like in a formation that like doesn't really suit them, so that the bigger ships are not really soaking up everything that you need it to soak up. And yeah, uh, campaign maps and space battle skirmishes are a bit different in the sense that like if you have a big ship in a skirmish that's about to die, you want it to die so you get more pop cap. While in a campaign map, if you have a ship that's low health, you want to retreat it back and like let it survive the battle so that you can, you know. Oh, I don't know how those guys went there. That sucks. So I think I end up retreating from there, or no, I have a space station. Maybe I retreat from here. I think I retreat from here. But yeah, it's all about preserving your ships in the campaign map, while it's all about letting your ships die so that you can warp in new ships in skirmish mode. And one of the worst things you can do in skirmish mode is, like, against your opponent, is what was it? If you like disable like a ship that's like in the middle of the map and just leave it there languishing, like without engines and stuff, then they can't warp in a new ship. That's huge. One of the biggest things you want to do is you want to commit small ships to the middle of the map constantly until your enemy commits bigger ships to the middle of the map. If your person that you're facing like in a skirmish battle has all of their like bigger and more powerful ships committed to the middle of the map, they are not a threat to your space station and they are not defending their space station, which is like huge. So baiting them to the middle of the map by using like smaller ships that you could later retreat without an issue is huge. Um and sometimes it's worth like committing like one big ship to the middle to get that done and to like control mines there and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you've drawn them into a spot where they can't attack your space station and they can't defend theirs, if you warp in a ton of ships to your space, I don't know what's going on today. I need to take my allergies meds after this Claritin and stuff. But yeah, if you bring them to that spot, you know where their ships are, so you don't need to warp in ships to defend your space station, and you know their space station is open, so you're able to warp your ships into their space station. Sneezing crazy today. But yeah. Yeah, this is the final land battle against the Empire. I think this will be the final land battle of the series. It is a little intense. You know, I'm using like bombing runs already on like soldiers and stuff. Fighting. Bless me. Fighting like AT-AT walkers over there and moving around the right side to flank them. Or bottom side, my bad. So I'm moving down like the bottom to flank them while I'm holding them more so in the top. And that was over pretty fast. I'm not sure what made it over, actually. What happened there? I honestly don't know what happened there. I didn't edit that out or skip it. Did they retreat? What was there an AT-AT walker there? Okay, whatever. That's kind of cool. And yeah, I'm just chilling now. I'm compiling all of my soldiers. Just to show them off a bit here at the end. And yeah, I have 2 Bellators there. So this final battle against the Zinj, they have a SSD, Super Star Destroyer. This will be like the big baddie boss of the end of the campaign. There he is. And it looks like they have a pretty good space station too, I guess. Pretty good defense. I have like a ton of ISDs. I'm not going to lose the battle, but yeah. Time to see what we can do. I'm not sure if I sent in a beginning ship. I did, okay. So I'm going to start, I believe, by not committing my Bellators. Yeah, it looks like allegiances. Ships to make it so they can't retreat. Smaller ships. And all of this is to weaken their ship first. If I were to commit into Bellator, I'd lose a Bellator. It's as simple as that. These guys lay out. The SSD puts out like way too much firepower to like ever go against like a Bellator one-on-one. Even like with support ships, it could focus down the Bellator and destroy the Bellator. So, I mean, look at that Allegiance. It's already lost its shields. It's already like losing hard points. But what this sacrifice of allegiances is going to do is it's going to reduce and take away all of their shields, and then the Bellators will have like a huge advantage. Once like you take out like a few hard points and like take out all the shields, then the Bellators can shoot at it safely and wreck the rest of the hard points before before they get destroyed. And allegiances, I can make as many as I want of. Bellators, there's like a limit to it, so it's always good to preserve those. I mean, it is the end of the campaign, and I could have done it like the other way where I sacrificed the Bellators and then send in the rest of the ships to clean up. But this is way more efficient, in my opinion. And I have the income to throw away a few allegiances. If this wasn't the final battle of the campaign, I'd play it like this as well. I didn't warp in any like fighter superiority ships besides the Secular. The Secular gives off a decent amount of fighters, and I figured that would be like enough considering that they don't have like a lot of fighter ships. And later on I'd be able to warp in more fighters. And yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Got an admiral over there. And we're shooting lasers at these guys. Lost our first allegiance. Inevitable. I'm sending in an ISD here to clean up this ISD. Or, I mean, to protect my admiral, actually. That should be a better way to put it. But yeah, warping him in from behind is perfect, because you take like extra damage when you warp in a ship and you get hit while it's warping in, but warping in from behind means that they can't shoot at you while you're warping in. And while you can see I'm still getting wrecked with all those allegiances, we've gotten rid of their shields and we've gotten rid of like a lot of their forward facing hard points, to the point where like it's the Super Star Destroyer is way weaker than before. So, time to let the allegiances die. That one allegiance isn't dying. That's almost dead. So, that's keeping me from warping in new ships right away. And yeah, so it's a pretty worthy final battle to end this campaign off at. It's a big boss fight, but at the same time, we've come so prepared that there's no way we can lose this. But it's pretty fitting that the last ship to stand up against us is a Super Star Destroyer. Couldn't have asked for a better final battle to wrap up this campaign. And it feels good. It feels good to destroy a Super Star Destroyer, you know? It shows how far you come. So yeah, the channel update. This will serve as a finale, of course, but this will also serve as a kind of channel update. More content's coming. I'll be posting like 2 series videos like a week when all of that stuff is lined up. Give me like another week or two to pull all that stuff out. And I'm debating between 1 and 3 shorts a week. Again, we'll see. Shorts on one hand is like the thing that like gets me the most views and stuff because it's shorts. On the other hand, because they take a little while to edit, they don't even take long to edit, but because they do take a little while to edit and I have like no time at all, it doesn't really get done right now. And yeah, I do want to do at least 1 short a week because I have like outtakes from like multiplayer stuff that I'd like to post, and I think those are pretty easy to put out there, those kind of shorts, and they're pretty fun. So I'll be doing those. I'm tempted to go back to doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links again. I don't think a lot of people like are subscribed to me for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but it's just something that I like to play. I mean, I've only played things on this channel that I like to play because it's a hobby, you know. But yeah, this is my first Star Wars campaign I finished here. Oh, and Software Inc. is like the one thing that like I didn't finish out of like all of the things I've started. Like I did all of the Civ series and all of that, but Software Inc. I think is just gonna be left unfinished. I don't want to like stay playing that one for much longer. I started a successful company. It's growing at a good rate, and the laptop I'm playing on it with is not the most optimized for it, or the game isn't optimized for that kind of hardware. I'm not sure either or. But yeah, the video quality isn't that good. And Software Inc. is a game I tend to like to be like play more quietly and stuff, while I like sit there and like build like the office and everything. It's not really something that like I think I enjoy commentating over as much. While you know Star Wars stuff like this, I like commentating over. I feel like there's like game knowledge I can talk about. I feel like you know there's a lot I can like learn from people who watch me. You know, people leave like cool comments that like help me and inform me of things that like I didn't know before. And the same thing with Civ. I've had a lot of fun playing Civ, just because there's like people in the comment section that give me like really good feedback and stuff. Like and I've progressed and gotten better at these 2 games because of my YouTube content posting. I don't feel like I've gotten better at Software Inc. through like posting it on YouTube. So I'm just gonna kind of let that die, that series. And yeah, I appreciate all the feedback that I do get. You know, it's nothing like crazy. It's like a few like really good people saying like you can do this better. And like whenever I've engaged like someone like in the comment section about it, like they've been really chill, and I've been able to like be like chill back and everything, and it's been pretty cool. Um, I've enjoyed posting content. So yeah, I'll keep doing it. It's just a matter of what time I can do it at. um, when I'll have the time, when I won't. I do enjoy it though. I do greatly enjoy it, so I will keep doing it. And yeah, this is about wrapped up. So, pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how this campaign went. It's been a little while since I played it, but um, the experience I had playing it is still somewhat fresh in my mind. I started playing it way back in like February. Like this is like one of like the first things I posted alongside Software Inc. and Civ 3. I finished 2 Civ 3 campaigns, and I have like recorded stuff for like a third one in the amount of time it took me to complete this short campaign. Um, I'd love to do a larger one in the future on a better computer. So I don't think I will do a second one right away until and I don't think I'll do a second one until I have like the hardware more readily available to me to do a second one. I do have the hardware, it's just not portable and not able to like it's not really like able to go with me where I need it to go and stuff. Um so yeah, big campaigns are definitely on the table, but it's going to be a future thing. Multiplayer battles might be on the table in the future, maybe. I still am playing them without recording them now. And yeah, there's the end credits. I win. I'm a winner. So yeah, uh, thank you guys so much for creating this game. All of the people listed in the credits. Thank you to like Corey and like the mod team and everything. And thank you George Lucas for Star Wars and stuff. It's been a huge part of my childhood. Thank you for everyone who's like watched this series and who's commented like little pieces of advice. Feel free to tell me what mods you would like to see in the comments section, or any tips on like gameplay and how I can improve my game. If I was like talking about something like, I was talking earlier about like how I play the game, and if it's not good, feel free to let me know. But yeah, like, comment, favorite, subscribe if you guys want to see more. I really appreciate all of you guys who do like subscribe and talk to me and stuff. Um, it's why I kind of post the videos, because I do appreciate having like a nice small little audience that give me feedback and stuff. And it's a great hobby to have, that's for sure. So yeah, thank you so much. You guys have a good one. God bless, and enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll let the credits run a little longer. Bye.